I don't know.
Sucio Talk here with my main man Devin Gonzalez of Tacos El Precioso out here in Oakland, California, representing. We over here drinking mezcal. What are we drinking on, chef?
We're drinking La Mata. It's verde from Durango. It's one of my favorites that I have at the house. It's formerly Amor Mata, but now it's La Mata. It's a very green, kind of floral flavor and stuff. One of my amigas, she calls it La Iguana.
Yeah.
But it's from Durango. It's hella good. It's one of my favorites. So.
Love that. Well, yo, thanks for bringing it on. Thanks for fucking contacting me about a podcast. Oakland is a great city. You've been doing your thing now for about 5 years, correct?
Yeah.
All right, very cool. So we'll get into that. But, you know, here on Sucio Talk, we're going to go all the way back. So where were you born?
I was born in Dallas, Texas, and I was born and raised there. My family immigrated to the States from Nuevo León. It's like the northern part of Mexico.
Right.
And stuff. And so my abuelito brought, my abuelita and my mom and my tias to Texas, and, here I go.
Here you are.
Yeah, here I am.
All right. When you let's skip forward a little bit. When you went to open this taqueria, did your parents were like, what the fuck are you doing? Or were they like, let's do it?
I mean, really, like, my abuelito, he's still alive. His name is Timoteo. And, I told him, I was like, hey, I want to open this taco business and stuff. And one of the first things that he told me is like, yo, I didn't come all the way to this country to sacrifice so much for my family and leave my family, back in Mexico so that you could sell tacos. And I was like, yo, like, what I'm doing is different. It's not like every taqueria on the corner. It's like a different vibe and stuff. And so it wasn't until he came out here a couple months after I started with my brother and saw what I was doing. And I did a party for some homies, and he came and like watched me work and saw what I was serving. And he was like, all right, well, this is different. And then saw like, I was, my house was clean, and, just like everything was okay.
Had your shit together.
Yeah, had my shit together and stuff. As best as one could.
Got you.
So then I got the approval.
Well, I think sometimes abuelitos too look at you like, they look at you when they're a little kid, and forever you'll always be that person.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, what the fuck is that culi cagao? ¿Qué le va a hacer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so you got to prove them wrong a little bit in order to get. It's like my family with cooking. Same shit.
It's like you got to make your place in the world.
Yeah.
So they were just like, of all the things you've done in your life, like, you're going to go make tacos. And I was like, yo, like, I'm going to try this out. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go cook again, or go be a cook at a restaurant, or go be a chef again.
Yeah. Dope, man. Well, fucking born raised here, right? What was your upbringing like? What were you eating at home? Going out?
I mean, so I was born and raised in Texas, and people ask, like, if I'm from here or if I'm from Mexico or whatever, and I just
it's a fucking bullshit answer that you have to give, man.
Well, I just joke with them that I'm Tejano. Right?
Yeah.
So, because like all my primos, we go to Mexico, and it's like, and in Texas too, like Texas is hella racist. So then you're like, okay, well, when you're in Texas, it's like, okay, well, you're Mexican, even though you're born in Texas. But then you go to Mexico and you go see all your mocoso as primos, and they're like, oh, pues you're not one of us porque eres de allá. I'm like, yo, my abuelito is your dad's brother.
Yeah,
like, we're
same
family.
shit. Yeah,
so it's wild.
I hear you, man. It's like you're not like, you don't belong.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're not Mexican enough, you're not white enough, you're not black enough, you're not nothing enough. You're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that whole like identity thing as
well. For sure.
But yeah, man, like growing up, my abuelita would make, she would make like chile colorado. She would make mole with like the mole in like the little jar.
Yeah.
It was hella funny. But my abuelito is from, this town outside of Monterrey called General Bravo. And, he grew up on a farm, and he would have to go watch goats, and that was his job. He stopped going to school like in 3rd grade.
Okay.
And so he loved like cabrito. And so we would always be eating like cabrito, or like, grilled goat, or like something like, and then like on Sundays he would make menudo a lot.
Right.
And then one of my abuelita's friends was actually Salvadorian, and so that lady, we would always be eating pupusas too.
Really?
Yeah. So then my abuelita learned how to make pupusas, but she wouldn't make them by hand. She would actually use like the tortilla press and like press the tortilla and then put like the meat and the cheese and then like another tortilla, and then they would like pinch it down around the edges.
Okay.
But yeah, hella tamales.
I like that though. No rules.
Yeah.
You know, because then you just eat.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, well, you know, it's not traditional. It's like, yo, bro, at this day and age, fuck traditional.
Yeah.
Like it obviously doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's cool, man.
Going out to eat was like going to Burger King, dollar menu.
Yeah, baby.
Jack in the Box,
That's
dollar
right.
menu. We could never get a drink because we always had, you know, bebidas en la casa.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, it's like, why we gotta eat here then, bro?
Yeah.
Like, wait, you're all like choking and shit.
Yeah.
They're like, pues te traje aquí para que puedas jugar. You can play in the fucking playscape.
Dale.
Yeah.
Don't get lost.
Little playscape a fucking hack here. If you take the little bandejas, the trays, you can fucking fly down those slides, bro. We would get to the point where we'd be sliding into the tables. Like, it was dangerous, you know? But definitely for you kids out there, check it out. But I think we should take a sip.
Cheers, man. Thanks for
bro.
having me.
Of course. Oh. Ooh, yeah, daddy. Was mezcal an alcohol that you grew up with in your family?
No, man. Growing up, my abuelito would drink Presidente and like Bud Light.
Yeah.
Like, it was a celebration, it would be Presidente. If it was like a cookout, it would be Bud Light.
Right.
And then my mom would like, you know, drink wine a lot. But
okay.
Yeah, I didn't really get into mezcal or like really get into it up until probably the last 5 years, I would say.
Got you.
Yeah.
Did the restaurant inspire that learning curve?
Well, so the restaurant, you know, we're doing food at this new spot here in Oakland. We just opened up about 2 months ago, but I would say grew an affinity for mezcal going down to Oaxaca with some friends. Her family lived down there, and so we went, and her tío would make a tobala, which is like a varietal of mezcal. And it was I was like, yo, I've never had anything like this before, and I think, you know, I had like a just ignorant or uneducated perspective on mezcal. It was like, oh, this is just like tequila and stuff. And like her tío like really showed me like, yo, there's a lot to learn about this stuff. And so just like in the past, you know, few years, I've just really grown to enjoy it. And stuff, and it's
I've also
my
grown to enjoy it, and it's become my spirit of choice. It used to be rum for me just because, you know, por tojo, pero like when I did the road trip, man, every bar had a mezcal cocktail. And so usually if I find like there's a trend somewhere, I'll just try it everywhere I go. Yeah. And man, I was never upset with my cocktail. Like mezcal is a beautiful, beautiful cocktail spirit.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, for sure. So fucking born and raised in Texas. So what did you do in school? You play any sports or anything?
Yeah, in school, you know, growing up in Texas, you like either have to like play football or like be in the band or something that like supports football. You know, it's like, it's a joke. It's like, you know, football's first.
Yeah.
It's like football, Texas, God, and then country. I think it's like the order of importance. So I played football.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because it's so big that you're alienated from the rest of the United States?
Like, why do I think?
Why do you think Texas has such like a pride of like that spirit, like their football, like they take shit seriously.
Everything.
I dated a Texan, and it was like that's all I heard about every fucking day. Yeah. By the way, I'm from Texas. Like I know.
You never let me forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a good question, man. I think like the history of Texas, they just went through so much. I mean, they had like 6 different, you know, almost like occupations. You know, they were like the people that lived there on the land, and then with Spain and with Mexico and with, you know, then Texas was its own thing, and then with the U.S. and, you know, I don't know if it's some of that, but it's so wild. It's like if the United States or like being an American was like, I don't know, condensed or concentrated, like it's Texas.
Yeah.
Like people from Texas they will tell you that they are Texan before they are an American.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Because you don't get that in other states.
No.
Nobody's like, I'm Californian.
Well, like in California, for example, like you don't everyone doesn't have a California flag in front of their house.
Very true. Very true.
In Texas, everyone has a fucking Texas flag or that like metal star like on the front of their house. It's just like, yo, dog, is this so you don't forget where you live? Like, what the fuck?
I can't hate on that because, you know, Puerto Ricans, man, that should be on the car, the boxing gloves, the house, the shirt, the do-rag. So I can't hate on them for having their flag, but
it's
goddamn. I will say, though, something that's nice about Texas is the size of the roads in, like, the neighborhoods. It's, like, comfortable. You know what I mean? When you go to the Northeast, it's like fucking one ways and shit, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cool, man. So you grew up and did you do band or?
No, I played football.
You played football?
Yeah, I played football in Texas, and I started when I was like in 5th grade.
Right.
I actually I played baseball for a year, but then my mom had to work a lot, and I only went to like half the games and stuff. And then one of the friends I went to school with, elementary school, he played football, and so he was like, yo, if you want to go, like, my mom can pick you up, and then we can just go, like, to practice and stuff. And so I was like, all right. So I started playing football and stuff, and did that for a few years, and, you know, just definitely got my fair share, I think, of, like, early or pre-pubescent concussions.
Oh, yeah?
And all that stuff. But
how'd they treat that in high school? Like,
I mean, it was just like...
did you know you were concussed, or was it like,
no,
shake it off?
Yeah, they're just like, oh, walk it off. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And I think I probably had, if I had to guess, probably like 8 or 10 concussions.
Really?
Like from the time I was like in 5th grade to high school.
What position did you play?
I played defensive back or like a linebacker, and then I played offensive line, depending on the grade in school and size.
Yeah. I hear you. Do you play with anybody that made it to the big leagues?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Heard that.
Yeah.
So when you're about to get out of high school, like, what's your first job?
My first job, I actually started working construction with my abuelito. So even when I was in middle school, so like every Saturday and every summer, I'd go work with him. So I started like carrying the blueprints. Like, he had a construction and framing business. So then I would be like carrying like the ropes and like the compressor hoses and all that stuff, and like unloading the trucks and like setting up the job site. And we would like pop all the lines, like the red chalk lines for the building.
Right.
And shit. And so that was my first job, I think, like at 13. But even before that, like, me and my brother would go hustle in the neighborhood. We would like, we would take the lawnmower and like go cut the neighbor's
Classic.
Yeah. We would do that, like wash the neighbors' cars. And then we got saved up money to buy a power washer. And then we started like power washing the neighbors' houses and like
dope,
their driveways and shit. So we could.
So you were always making money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like we wanted bikes.
Yeah.
And stuff, and like
love that. And your parents were like, "You want it? Go work for it.
You got to go figure it out."
Dope, man. That's a great upbringing. Yeah. Great upbringing. I wish more people had that shit.
Yeah, I think my first job, like, not working with my family, was when I was 16. Actually, I worked at REI in Dallas.
You worked at REI?
Yeah, selling like camping stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to military. I got sent to military school, and we started this like camping and like backpacking club, so we could like get the fuck away from school.
Right.
And like go hike and do all this other shit. And so when I came back after the first year after we started that shit, I went to go work at REI. That was my first job at 15
regular
or
job.
16. Yeah.
And all the kids there are like, this guy used to work construction. What the fuck? Like, it's a grown ass man right here, bro. God damn. Yeah. So how was working at REI? That's sweet. It wasn't what it is now, right?
No, I mean, they've been around for a long time. But
yeah.
It was tight. I mean, I didn't save any money because all the money that I made, I bought for camping shit.
Right.
I thought I was going to go back to military school. And so for me, it was like a way of getting out or being to like escape for a minute.
Yeah. What was the military school reasoning? Were you fucking up in school?
Yeah,
and
I was just like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And, I was like, I have like ADHD, and my family didn't know it at the time, and I was just like always
no one did,
fighting and stealing shit, and just like, basically it was either like go to military school, or I probably like would have went to juvie.
Yeah. Okay.
So
better choice for sure.
Yeah.
So you're 16, working at REI. You don't go back to military school.
No.
So what's going on after you like leave high school? Is it a pressure to go to college from your parents?
No. I just like growing up, I had like no like real stability, and I went to 8 different schools from like kindergarten to high school. I went to 2 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 4 different high schools.
Damn, boy.
Because like my family would move around, and then like I didn't get in high school. Like I wasn't getting along with my mom, and so like I went to school in Arizona for a year.
Okay.
And then like my stepdad, his job was like gonna move him, or his contract was gonna end or some shit. So I went back to Texas, and then it was still in Dallas, but then my family had moved, and so I went to like another high school. So it was like every year and a half, just like starting over.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay. So you said you had a friend that you did football with. Did moving around so much kind of affect your friendships?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like every time I had to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because back in the day there wasn't no cell phones or like keeping in touch.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So
damn,
it was hard. Yeah, I had like 2 or 3 friends from elementary school that I stayed friends with through high school and shit. But yeah, man, every year and a half, like just had to start over.
Heard that shit.
It was hard.
Yeah. So when you finally get out of high school, what are your plans? Freedom.
Yeah, I mean, the summer after high school, me and my mom got into a huge ass fight, and she kicked me out of the house. And I went to community college, or like enrolled in community college and stuff. And I went to go live with my abuelitos and stuff for like a year. And then there were some people that I had met through some like local like Latino organizations at some of the other colleges,
right,
and stuff. And I became friends with this other fool, and like moved in with him. And it was my roommate like in college and stuff. And yeah, just like I ended up getting a job actually at a bank, and I got recruited because I was working at Blockbuster and stuff, and fucking started working in banking, and then started like taking more like finance and business classes and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, like the one thing I was really good at always in school was math.
Okay.
So, I don't know what it was about math, but I was good at it, and I could focus and stuff on that shit.
The only thing that could keep your attention?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And yeah, so I did that, and then worked at a couple different banks, and then that's how I ended up in California.
Right.
Like I transferred for the bank I used to work for.
What's the bank?
They're not around anymore, but
right.
it was called Wachovia.
Oh, Wachovia? Fuck yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah, from the East Coast.
Connecticut,
yeah.
son.
Yeah, so they failed. But,
of course they did.
Yeah,
it was First Union before that, I think.
Yeah, they had like bought a whole bunch of
banks. Because I remember my mom had that bank, and then it changed names like 15 times. Now it's Bank of America, I think. It's like
Wells Fargo.
Yeah, or that one, right?
Yeah.
Fucking corrupt bastards that have all our money.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was able to move to San Diego because I transferred, and just kind of never really looked back.
What's it like working at a bank? Like,
I mean,
are you counting fucking millions of dollars? Have you seen $1 million?
I have not seen $1 million on paper. I've seen it on the computer.
Yeah.
But it's.
I think we all have. I type it every morning, and I'm like, "That's it, baby.
Yeah,
that's it. This is the
so
one."
Close. So close. But no, man, it was wild. Like, I mean, I started out as a teller, and then, it's really weird, man. Like one of the last jobs I had in San Diego in banking, I worked at this private bank, and I was hella young. I had no kids, no mortgage, making decent money, and I mean, we would just like wild out. I mean, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, we'd just be out, just be drinking, like going to happy hours, and I mean, damn near it felt like every day.
So bankers get after it.
Yeah.
Even though they look all nice and well-to-do behind that bulletproof glass.
I mean, I wasn't like the bankers of the 80s, like, just being hella
snorting
crazy.
Cocaine off.
No.
You're like counting money. Hold on, bro.
Yeah. Different vibe.
Yeah.
But it was wild. Like some of the richest people that we dealt with, like, were the nicest people. And just like you would never expect that these people were millionaires.
Right.
Like the people that own Costco, like, were our clients. Like,
Right.
just crazy shit at this private bank in La Jolla. And
That's wild.
but it was wild, like, you know, I mean, like, every day have to like wake up, like throw a suit on, go, just like go be on
Yeah.
and stuff. And you know,
What was
it
the
just,
account balance on that Costco people?
I mean, there's a lot of commas,
Billions.
a lot of zeros, a lot of commas.
Love that.
But,
Love that.
I mean,
So
it was wild, man.
let's rewind too. You worked at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
That's fucking classic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. R.I.P. Blockbuster.
Do you still have the fucking uniform?
I don't.
If you did, you could have sold that shit for so much money.
I mean,
I think.
the size I was then and the size I would be like a tube top.
Yeah.
So,
I love it, bro.
yeah.
What up,
Fucking
that dude?
Blockbuster.
What was
Let's
your
go.
position? Like cashier or rewinder?
Just like cashier, and then I would like sell movies and like movie passes and shit
Yeah.
like that. So like try to sell like memberships and sell popcorn and shit.
Yeah. That's fucking nuts. Oh, so there's an incentive to sell shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So there would be like these movie passes where people would have to buy them to.
They're monthly subscriptions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Where you could like get so many rentals a month.
Yep.
Or some shit like that.
I remember that. Then Hollywood Video came along and they like kind of.
Just buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, this lady who was a customer, I was always talk to her about movies and shit, and she was like, "Yo, you're like hella good at sales," and I was like, "Thanks." She's like, "I'm a recruiter for Bank of America. Like, you should come work for us." And it was just like as a teller, and I was like, "Fuck it."
Damn.
I could get health benefits
Based off your merits selling video passes? That's
And
crazy.
she
Good
felt
for
like
you,
I
bro.
was personable, and
Yeah.
you know, I've had like other sales jobs, you know, in
Damn,
the
just
food
get
world,
scouted.
and so I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's dope, man.
I mean, maybe it was just like a combination of like always having to make new friends and like just trying to like engage and talk to people.
Yeah.
And I think it's helped me get to where I am today.
For sure, dude. It's like being a kind person will get you way farther than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Dope. So when do you decide to get out of banks? When does that happen for you?
It happened when I was living in San Diego. I was like still like early 20s, and the last job that I had to travel like every week for work. I worked for this this firm that I would have to go and do data samples of like the number of people coming into banks and like why they were coming in, and track this stuff. And ultimately what the data was being used for was for an automated like staffing model
Right.
for this bank I worked for, so that they didn't have to like replace employees. Because they were trying to migrate everybody to ATMs and away from coming in. And so that's why you probably go to different branches now of banks, and it's like there's like 20 spots for tellers, but there's only like 2 people
Right.
and stuff. And so initially I didn't really understand what all this data was for. And then like,
So do you think banks had the idea that ATMs would just cover everything?
a majority of it,
Right.
like even to this day, like when people go into banks, they try to escort you like, "Oh, why don't we go do this together like at the ATM?"
Right.
It's like, well, I want to see a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, but you could do this at the ATM."
Oh, that's right.
Because it saves them labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were in that time where you saw people being like, I want to talk to a real person, where like ATMs were like weird still. You know what I mean?
Kind of. They were like good for getting cash out, but then like some of these banks were like rolling out things where then you could make deposits and you can make payments and all this shit. Whereas before, all ATMs did was just put money out.
Right.
And so they were trying to migrate to save labor and like not have to replace employees like after they would quit or be fired or be promoted or whatever. So it's like this automated staffing model, and there some shit happened like that, and then some stuff with I was trying to go to a friend's wedding, and like if I didn't complete the full weeks of like data samples, like I wouldn't get paid for the week.
Right.
So it was like part of my contract, and so I couldn't get someone to cover on my team this 1 week. And I was trying to go to Ohio for my homie's wedding, and he was getting married on a Friday, and I tried for like 5 weeks to get this week covered and stuff. And then, you know, finally the week came, and the branch that I was at was just like being hella annoying. And because every week I'd have to go to a different city. I'd go to a different city and go to a different branch and take these data samples.
Close or flying?
All over the country.
Really?
So it just like killed my social life. And essentially I would like fly home like on a Friday night or on a Saturday morning.
Right.
Go drop off my suits at the cleaners, and then the next day like fly out again to the new city. And so I did that for like a year. And then finally I wanted to go to my friend's wedding. And I was like, fuck this.
Right.
And so I ended up taking I took my computer and all my files and all this shit, like took it to FedEx, like put the address of our company, like gave this box a kiss goodbye. And I was like, yo, like this life for me is over.
Okay.
Just like didn't want to fucking do it anymore.
Gotcha. And then you went to that wedding and had the best time of your life, or what?
It was hella good. We was in Cleveland, Ohio. And it was my friend's wedding. We had a great time. And I don't regret it at all.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
So then you get out of that, you get after the wedding. What are you doing now? Back to San Diego to figure it out?
I went back to San Diego to figure it out. I had some cool roommates at the time, and like the fun thing that we would always do is we would have people over at the house and we would cook for them and stuff. And so, we would just have cookouts, and like one of the guys, he was Filipino and black, and then his wife was Filipino, and I think Japanese or something, but they just like would always have hella family around and have just hella cookouts and just like the nicest fucking people.
Right.
And so I just like loved just being around hella people, and we would just make a bunch of food. And I took a couple months to like figure out what I wanted to do, and it just like finally clicked. Like I wanted to cook. Like even when I like worked in banking, like when we would go out, we'd go to the bars, like we wouldn't go out to eat afterwards. Like everybody would come to our apartment, and like I would cook. So like 1, 2 in the morning, we'd have like 6, 8, 10, 15 people at the house, and I'd just be cooking in the kitchen.
Okay.
Like, just like migas or, just whatever we had, we'd just be cooking and stuff. And so I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I ended up, somebody that I worked with at the bank, his roommate owned this catering company in San Diego, and so I kept bugging him to let me let me work for him and shit, and he just kept being like, you don't have any experience. So I was like, well, give me a shot. And he's like, nah, man. He's like, we got a full squad, like we're good. And I was like, look, man, I'll come and wash dishes for you for free. I was like, I'll be here every day on time. I was like, I'll wash dishes, like give me a shot to cook. And like teach me, like hire me but teach me, right? And so I fucking went every day, 5 days a week. They would make staff meal. I washed dishes for 2 months for free. Like before he was like, all right, you know what, starting on Monday, come through, this is the time, we'll have a knife for you. And they started like teaching me how to cook. Dope,
man.
And
what was the first few things that you like learned that really impacted you? Like,
damn. I learned how to make marinara. That was one of the first things.
Yeah.
And I had like some basic, just like super super basic like knife skills of like watching shit on TV and learning how to chop some stuff, but like how to prep stuff, how to prep a bunch of veg, how to do mirepoix. But one of the things I remember was making marinara because I had this giant rondo, and he was like, you just got to keep stirring because like if not, it's gonna stick and it's gonna burn. And I remember like I had stirred to the back of the rondo, and this big like bubble of tomato sauce like popped up, fucking burned me on the arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. But I was like, I can't burn this sauce.
Exactly.
And so I just like wiped it off real quick, and then just like with my towel, and then I kept stirring, and like 2 minutes later, same spot, back of the sauce popped up, same spot. So I had like a burn and then a big ass burn on the burn. I don't know if I still have that fucking, I don't have that scar anymore, but yeah, man, I was like, yo, don't let the sauce get too hot. Don't burn the sauce.
Never. I never thought about this till right now, but I'm like, man, why didn't we just cook our red sauce in a bain marie? It makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah, that's genius.
It's like won't charge any, like you can literally just boil it. It's fine.
That's fine. And it won't burn.
It's like you get to temperature. It's like fucking, it's like anglaise. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Yeah. That's your $1 million idea.
There you go, right?
Tomato sauce on a
This is the last podcast.
Yeah, we're done. Thanks for having me.
This is it. This
the last one.
That's it.
I want 5%.
Yeah, that's right. I have to tell my story years later. Be like, well, that was the last podcast, and
Yeah, now I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, taco guy.
Yeah. My son's name is Precioso. My daughter's Preciosa.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Listo.
I owe my life to Devin Gonzalez.
Just my fortune. Thanks, fucking tomato burns.
Exactly.
Fuck, man.
Fuck yeah. So you're making marinara. You're working here. How long you work there?
I worked there for about a year, and then while I was going to school or while I was working there, I decided to enroll in community college, like into the culinary program
Okay.
down there. So I was like, yo, like, you know, I don't have the money to spend. I don't to spend 40, 50, $60,000 to go to like a super expensive culinary school to then come out and be making $10 an hour.
Yeah,
So
I wish I had that mentality, bro. My mom was like, sign the paper.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, student debt forever.
I'm still in the fucking dark cloud over here.
Yeah.
And then my mom will send me those things that say, student loan forgiveness.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just fake, bro.
Yeah.
They're never going to forgive
it's a
it.
scam.
It's a scam. They're never going to forgive it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
Too many people make money for them to ever forgive a student debt.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Like I would bet my life on it.
Yeah.
Like that's how confident I feel about it.
I mean,
but yeah, so I went to community college and did that for a little bit. And then I started volunteering at like different like chef events around San Diego.
okay.
And so just like wanted to meet some different people and like try to get more experience and stuff. And so there was this one like cooking event that would happen with different chefs at this seafood company down there. And so I met this other cat who, you know, he thought that I did a good job, and he was like, hey, I work at this resort
Right.
and stuff in Mission Bay. And he was like, you know, if you want to come, you know, work for us, we're like, we need somebody. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I've been working at this catering company. I'm in culinary school. And I was like, but I never worked at a restaurant. And he was like, yo, just like come through and stuff. And so I started cooking there. And they put me like on the fry station. It was like this tiny, tiny little like, I mean, window that we cooked on. It was like me and this one other dude. There was like a reach-in freezer, a fucking little baby fryer, 4 burners, and like a little flat top. And you turned around and there was a deli station, and that was like the entire hotline for the restaurant at this resort.
Wow.
And stuff. And so, or yeah, just for the like fancy restaurant. The resort had like 3 restaurants on it.
Okay.
And stuff. And so I worked with this older dude, and he like taught me a bunch of stuff on like how to cook and like how to work that station and stuff. And so we would like do everything together. And then, you know, I would go back to school, and then because I had been learning at the restaurant, you know, I was like, I would say more advanced than not all the students, but a lot of them.
Right.
Because a lot of them were younger or like right out of high school and stuff. And I think at this point, I don't know how old I say this, like I was 45 at the time. I think I was like, I don't know, like 26 or something, or 25.
That's still old as fuck to people getting out of high school.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Were you buying a beer for them or what?
No. No.
Hey, mister.
But, hey, it's like,
what are you doing after class, old man?
Yeah, it's like, yo, man, like, I know I don't work at SeaWorld like all of y'all, but like, I'm not going to go buy y'all beer.
Fucking SeaWorld.
Yeah, man. But, yeah, so then they told me one of the people that I was working with, like, went to go work at a different restaurant, and they were like, hey, if you want to come work full time, we'll like show you a lot of the shit you need to know if you want to do this instead of going to school. So I was just like, fuck it. So I didn't really know better, but I like dropped out of community college and then just started working there full time, and then got linked up with this other chef who was my mentor.
What's his name?
His name was Chad White. And so he was in San Diego. He's up in Washington now.
Okay.
I think he has this company called like Spiceology, or he works.
Oh, no way! Really?
Yeah.
They're all over the place, man.
So he's got a bunch of restaurants and stuff up there. So I like linked up with him, and I would go and help him at events while I was working at this restaurant and stuff. And yeah, man, just one of his idols like was a chef up in San Francisco and stuff. And so I kept volunteering at these different events, and I ended up meeting the chef who was moving up to San Francisco to go work for this other chef that my mentor looked up to. So just kind of like on a whim, I kept bugging this dude. I was like, yo, like if I come up here, like will you give me a chance to stage and stuff? And he was like, yeah. And the girl I was with at the time was like gonna move up here to the Bay with me, and so finally he was like, yo, like I'm here now if you want to come through and come stage and stuff. And I was like, fuck it. So I talked with my girl. I was like, this is what I want to do. And she was like, yeah, like we'll go up there. And so I fucking got they told me I could stage, and I ended up like packing all my shit up from San Diego, drove a U-Haul up to the Bay, was like crashing on a friend's couch in Berkeley, like Berkeley, Oakland border off of like Alcatraz. And, you know, I ended up like getting the stage at this restaurant, and they were like, you know, normally, you know, we ask people to come and stage for like 2 or 3 days, but like, you know, you did a great job and stuff, and like they gave me the job,
right,
and shit. It was at this Michelin restaurant in San Francisco.
What's it called?
And it was Michael Mina.
Michael Mina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was next to Perbeco.
When he
on California.
on
California.
When you worked there, how many restaurants did he have in SF?
He had a couple. He had like Bourbon Steak, RN74, and then Michael Mina. So they used to be at Aqua, or he used to be at Aqua, and or at the hotel, I guess, and they moved over. So I was there in their brand new kitchen.
Got you.
Is where
Did you get to work with Mina?
No, he was only there like once a month. Like Chris Lahamadou was the executive, like corporate chef,
right,
and stuff. By that time, he was like big time.
Yeah.
And so he would be like in Vegas, and he had like hella spots. So I would only see him like once or twice a month, and like I don't think I ever said anything to him or he ever said anything to me.
Michael Mina, if you're out there, this guy built your fucking empire, all right?
Hardly.
Dope. Yeah. So how long did you stay there?
I stayed there for like 6 months.
6 months? What happened, chef?
I mean, just a combination of things. Like the girl that I was with, she got cold feet. She didn't end up moving up here. And then like I took the bike shuttle from MacArthur BART over there because we worked lunch service. And it was like to this day, probably like the worst job I ever had.
Really?
Like, or at least cooking.
Yeah.
Like no one helped anybody. You know,
very cutthroat.
It was like hella cutthroat and shit. And I was just like,
people just trying to get to meet Michael Mina by.
Well, I mean, like I worked the day shift with one other guy, and we would have like 30, 40, 50, you know, covers on the books. It would be 3 and 5 course like tasting menus for like all these accountants and lawyers and shit. And like the fools who worked at night would like steal like our mise en place from the day, like for their stations. Cause like me and this one cat, like we worked these 2 stations, but then at night they had like 6 different stations, and like each station had like 2 or 3 people per station.
Right.
And so we would come in hella early, like prep out hella shit, or even at the end of the shift, just prep out a bunch of shit and like try to hide it in one of like 3 walk-ins. And it was like Russian roulette. Like every day, we just had no idea.
You just had no idea if you would have your mise en place or not?
No.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Were they doing that shit on purpose or just because they needed it for their service?
I think just they needed it for their service.
Right.
You know, sometimes they would like write you a list or send you a text because they would be like, hey, we sold out of these things. Or, you know, they had like lobster corn dogs and, you know.
Lobster corn dogs?
Yeah. They would take like lobster meat and like shrimp and make a farce. And then like it was for the bar menu. And they had duck tacos, and just like they had like a PB&J, but it was like foie with like pistachio.
Classic. That's a classic right there.
Yeah, and then the like, you know, the tuna tartare was like their signature dish.
Yeah.
And stuff. And
raw
so, like,
egg yolk in the middle.
Yeah, quail eggs. So I had to get the like little fucking scissors.
The topper?
The topper,
Yo.
yeah. And like have to sort through like 30, 40, 50 fucking quail eggs. And like do like brunoise, like a fucking pint of like habaneros and Fresnos every fucking day.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I remember working at those restaurants where you would do that kind of prep, and if you had like 1/4 of the deli left, just pitch it.
Yeah. It's like, yo, like, that took me 25 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's people that don't know how the prep goes will always throw away the mise en place. Like they have no fucking clue how long it took or whatever it is.
Dude, and I mean, from start to finish, I like barely got faster at it.
Yeah.
Like it would take
it's hard,
forever.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best guy at Brunoise that I've ever seen is Coleman Griffin. Coleman Griffin to me has like top 5 dead or alive best Brunoise I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And when I got to Meadowood, that's the first thing I noticed, that they were using a mandolin to make their planks. And I'm like, damn, no one ever showed me that. It was always like cut the planks with your knife.
Yeah.
Then,
perfect.
Yeah. It's like that's impossible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's probably like maybe 200 cooks in the whole world that could do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for carrots, you know, cucumbers, anything. Yeah. Mandolin it first.
Yeah.
Same thing with radishes. Like you don't have to cut that radish with your knife.
Yeah, dude.
Like do the little super fine
Took me about 7 years before somebody told me that. And I'm like, really?
Or when they fucking like put the teeth in the mandolin and then like do it like that, and then they just pick out the little ugly ones.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this life hack?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then so after 6 months, when you're gonna leave from there, do you have another plan? Do you know where you're gonna go, or are you just gone?
No, like I dipped because you know, I would take the bike shuttle and I fucking crashed my bike right there by the Embarcadero in the tracks.
Oh, no
And so
way.
I fucking got a concussion. Like this car cut me off. My wheel got caught in there, and fucking what happened? I went to like lift my bike up, and like I fell over and I fucking hit. I had a helmet, but I hit my head. I fucking scraped up my face and my hands and shit. Like both of my hands were all fucking bloody. And I remember like going to work, and fucking I was like, I thought I was gonna pass out like in the middle of service. I was like prepping and shit. I just had like one of the chefs came over to me, and not like, are you okay? He was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I had blood on my face and all these Band-Aids and shit on my hands and stuff. And then like I was going
You
down.
still went to work.
Yeah, I did.
That's
I mean,
a fucking cook for you right
know,
there.
I didn't know better. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, yo, this is the only way I have money, and I don't fucking have health insurance.
Yeah.
And shit. So then I was like fucking going down the stairs, and then back. I mean, I guess it's still the case, but all the walk-ins are downstairs. And so I was like going downstairs. He sent me home, and I was like, because I was like, yo, I think I really need to go to the hospital and stuff. And so I was like walking down the stairs, and I like fucking fell down the stairs, and like got my bike, and like, because I would put it in the basement, got my bag, and fucking like either took the bus or I don't know what the fuck. I ended up at UCSF in San Francisco. And they were like, yeah, you got a concussion and stuff. And so then, like, I didn't go to work the next day. And then the next day after that, like, because of the concussion, I couldn't taste food. I couldn't taste any food. I remember, like, being at work and just, like, crying, like, thinking, like, yo, if I'm making this food all fucked up, like, I'm going to lose my job and stuff. And then, one of the chefs, like, came over, and he was, like, tasting some of my sauces and stuff before service. And he was like, this is fucking awful. And I was like, well, I use the recipes that I have. You know, it should taste like pretty right and like pretty close. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you can't taste this? And I was like, no, like I can't taste anything. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like working here, you can't taste shit and stuff. And so they like helped me fix my sauces and stuff. And I worked through service. And then fucking, we were hella busy. I was helping the other dude on the hotline and stuff. And I was searing off some scallops. And then the chef at the time like took the scallop, and he was like, what did he say? He was like, this is overcooked. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, I'm sorry, chef. Like, I'll redo it and stuff. And I still had like bandages and shit all over my hand. And he goes, you have no fucking business being here. And he like took the fucking scallop and like threw it at me and stuff. And he was like, you have no fucking business being here. He was like, you need to fucking try better tomorrow. And I was like, man, I don't fucking need this. I just fucking went downstairs, got my shit, and I left.
Right.
I was just like, dog, I'm literally like have a fucking concussion. I couldn't taste food for like 3 weeks.
Right.
I like really thought like my life was over because this is how I make money.
Not one sous chef, not one person was like, hey man, are you seriously okay? Like
the cat I worked with, man, I don't even remember his fucking name. This white dude, I think hopefully still lives in Hawaii, but like he was hella nice. He would like help me and stuff, and I would like jump over and help him. Or like if we had to plate a bunch of halibut or like a bunch of a steak and stuff, like we'd help each other. Mm-hmm. But like there was that cat, and then this other sous chef, I think his name is like Jason. I think he actually has a restaurant in San Francisco now. But that guy was also hella nice to me. But like damn near everybody else I worked with was like just hella fucking mean and hella shit. And they were just like, and no one said shit. They just were like, yo, get out of here. Because the other thing too is like everyone wanted to work there, right? And so like and then at night they had like 4 or 6 stages. You know,
there was always somebody there to take your fucking spot.
Yeah, for sure.
The fear of that, god damn.
Yeah, so
because that's how it used to be. Like I remember when Chef Jake taught me, he was like, everyone that works with you is here to take your job. You know what I'm saying? So it was like okay, everyone is my enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And after a while, you're like, you know, you're treating people a certain way that's not necessarily the most correct way.
Yeah.
And like, they still fucking remember that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's probably like cats sitting home right now that don't even cook anymore that are still remembering the shit that their fucking chef told them or some asshole cook.
Yeah.
You know? It's just the way it was. It was like normal.
I don't
just like, hey.
I don't eat raw oysters anymore because of some shit that happened there too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was fucking wild. Yeah, we had a summer where it was hella busy, or the one summer I worked there.
Yeah.
I was like really bad at shucking oysters.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't grow up eating them in Texas. You know, I didn't really like eat them a lot in San Diego, and so like sometimes we would pre-shuck oysters if we had a lot of reservations, because like we would sell hella oysters, and now the raw bar stuff came off of my station. So like one of the sous chefs one time was like, yo, like why don't you just pre-shuck, you know, like a dozen, you know, or 18, just have them chilling just in case. I was like, all right, tight. So like one day we had like 65 covers on the books and stuff, and so I was like, you know, so I shucked up a bunch of oysters. We didn't sell a single fucking order of raw oysters. And I was like, fuck. And so I went up to the sous chef and I was like, hey, what? I was like whispering. I was like, hey, what should I do with this? You know? And he was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take all these oysters, put them in a quart container, take them downstairs for like the seafood prep. Cause there was some dish that had a farce of like all this different seafood in it and stuff. And so it was like prawns and squid and oysters and I don't know what else. And he was like, just put it in there. And then he was like, tomorrow when I go make this farce, I'll just put it all in there.
Right.
So I was like, all right, tight. So I like packed up my hotel pan of all my meats to go downstairs, and I had it just like chilling on top so I could drop it off first. And one of the chefs was like, he saw this quart container that like very much looked out of place.
Right.
And he was like, yo, what? He like stopped me and he's like, what is this? And I was like, just stopped dead in my tracks. And I was like, fuck. And he was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's like the oysters from lunch service. And he was like, you know, why are they not in their shells? And I was like, well, I didn't know what the fuck to say. And I was like, well, honestly, I was worried that we were going to have a bunch of oysters because it was hot, you know, unusually hot for San Francisco and stuff. And, you know, people get hella oysters. And so I shucked them all, and I wasn't about to throw this other cat under the bus. Mm-hmm. And he was like, who told you to do that? And I was like, no one. And he was like, do you like oysters? And I was like, they're all right. You know, they're not my favorite. And he was like, do you like raw oysters? And I was like, nah. I was like, I don't, you know, I just do them here because it's part of my job and stuff. He's like, here, you should have some. You should eat some. And I was like, what the fuck? In my mind, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm good. He's like, no. He was like, you should eat some of these oysters. And I was like, all right. And so like I put all my shit down, and he went, and I was like in the middle of everyone setting up for dinner service and stuff. And he went and fucking got a fork, and he like made me fucking eat this damn near full quart of like raw oysters.
The whole thing.
I mean, damn near.
Yeah.
And then I like thought I was going to fucking puke. He's like, all right. He's like, don't ever do this again. And shit, and I fucking went downstairs and I fucking threw up in the bathroom, and stuff, and I was like,
so he's just fucking embarrassing you in front of everybody,
in front of everybody, man.
Yeah,
it was like in front of like 15 or 16 people.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? And so like now, I mean, I'll eat grilled oysters or like oyster po' boy, or smoked oysters are fine, but like raw oysters, I just
won't do it.
No.
Fuck that guy, whoever that was.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
Douchebag.
Different world.
Yeah, man.
Different world.
But
now I make tacos.
Yeah, right. So you got out of there, and what was your next move?
After that,
were you sort of over the Michelin shit?
Yeah, I was just like, yo, like this is not.
If this is the way you're gonna treat me, then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and like I didn't have like a lot of experience in it, and
right.
I was like, so like I was from Texas, and I helped this other chef in Oakland, like open this barbecue restaurant and stuff. And
what was a barbecue restaurant?
It doesn't matter. So, but it's not around anymore. Mm-hmm. So, helped the chef with the spot, and then you know, do the menu and stuff, and like, you know, it's kind of a difficult person to work for. So I bounced out of there, and then I went to go be the sous chef at this other restaurant in downtown Oakland. And this girl that I knew from riding bikes like connected me with these people and stuff, and so I went, and then they really liked that you know, I had this like fine dining background because I was like very clean and very proper, and you know, I'd like tie all the mats together on the floor, and just my station was very organized and stuff. And you know, the people who owned the spot ended up having this other chef there who they didn't like at all. And they were like, yo, like, and they had just opened or reopened with this different chef, and they were like, yo, like, if we really like how you have been doing things and the things that we've seen from you and stuff, and we want you to be the chef. And I was just like, yo, like, I don't know how to do that. Like, what does that look like? And one of the owners was like, well, you know, I've been a chef at this other restaurant in San Francisco, and you know, I still have that restaurant. Like, we'll be here to help you and coach you and mentor you. And they weren't like trying to pay me shit, but at the time I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll take it. You know. And so
how old are you right now?
Right now I was 27.
27.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had just been cooking for like a couple years. And definitely not ready at all and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I have this cat who's my boss who was like telling me he's going to help me and stuff, and like take me under his wing in this like pseudo father figure kind of situation. So they fired the other chef. They made me the chef. I hired a couple other cooks and stuff. And, you know, just come to find out, like, the people who were there before, like, couldn't get credit from any vendors because they owed hella people money around town. And so we were like having to get produce from like a Cisco subsidiary, and then we were having to go to Restaurant Depot like once or twice a week to go get all of our stuff.
Right.
And then like I didn't have a car either. Like I just rode my bike everywhere. So I'd have to like wait for the owner to wake up, meet me at work, and then like he would be hungover most of the days, and then I would take his car, or we would go together, and I'd have to buy hella shit for the restaurant. And yeah, that fool ended up, you know, I think being more of a father figure to me than I realized, because like my father, he had like a relationship with cocaine that I didn't know about. And so all the money that we were making, he was just blowing it on blow. Right. And stuff. And so, yeah, I had like a total breakdown like one night during service because they would not pay for a reservation system. Right. And it was like, it wasn't fine dining, but it was like a nicer spot. Right. And there was a show at the Fox, and there was a show, I think, at the Paramount.
Who the fuck was doing the reservations then? No one? Just walk in?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. And then there was a show at the New Parish also. Right. So like everyone, the entire restaurant all sat at the same time, like between 7 and 7:15, and everybody had to leave like to go to these shows.
Ramsey Kitchen Nightmares.
And I was just like, what the fuck, you know? And I think down a cook that day too, and this guy was like, yo, like, you got to figure this out and whatever, and like shit was taking hella long, and like we were just going down fucking flames, man. And so he was like, you know what, like, you're not cut out for this, like, I got this. He's like, just go home. And just my cooks were just like, what the fuck is happening? And he's just like yelling at me in front of everybody, like in the middle of service, like we're just like trying to crank out all this food. And so I just had like a total fucking breakdown, and I came back the next day, and we had this like long talk, and he was like, yo, like, you're like not really ready for this shit. And I was like, dude, we have no reservation system. Like the whole restaurant came in at the same time. Yeah. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I could be the most talented chef in all the land. Yeah. Like, I can't fucking help knock out food for, I don't know, fucking 50 people or 48 people all at once. Like, we don't have the capacity for this and shit. And so he was like, yo, like, I'm going to give you a couple weeks, you know, while you like look for something else. And I ended up getting like hella depressed, and yeah, just like kind of took like a really bad turn.
Did you still have a good, or was your relationship still rocky with your parents? Like, could you, like, with the situation that happened, did they know what was happening with you, or was it kind of like you weren't talking to them?
I've had like a kind of off and on relationship with my mom. Like, sometimes things are really good and sometimes things are hella bad. Right. And then my dad was like not in my life at all. Right. Like, I didn't see my dad for 10 years. I think from the time I was like 8 until the time I was 18. And then I tried to reconnect with him until I was like 21. And then we had this big blow up because he was doing hella blow on the night of my 21st birthday. Right. And so I didn't really talk to them, you know. And so
Did your dad go back to Mexico, or was he just like absent?
My dad was born actually in California, outside of LA and stuff. But he was in Texas, but we just like never really talked.
Right.
Shit like that.
So it was like almost like acceptable for there to be deadbeat dads within the Latino community.
Yeah.
Like, and people were friends with these dudes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't matter that you don't take care of your kids. Well, I'll hang out with you. I'll be your friend.
Yeah. So I didn't really have like a good relationship with either of my parents, and I was like.
So you got no support systems. Do you have any siblings?
I have a younger brother that like we're close now, but like at the time we really weren't. And my girlfriend at the time was like, tried her best to be supportive, and I had friends and stuff to lean on, but like I got hella depressed. And then this girl who I was friends with used to bartend at this restaurant, and they were like looking for bartenders and stuff. And she was like, yo, like you really got to get out of the house. Like you really need a job. She's like, my job is hiring for bartenders, and like we can train you. And so it was like for brunch and then like one night shift as like a backup kind of bartender.
Wow.
And shit. And so me being hella depressed, I was like, sure, I'll go bartend.
Yeah.
I just like started drinking like crazy, and I got fired from that job because I was hella too depressed to go to work one day. That I was just like, I wasn't even hungover. I was just hella depressed and just like no call, no showed and stuff. And rightfully so, my coworkers are hella fucking pissed. But
yeah, for sure.
Fucking 10 years ago, like no one talked about mental health shit at all.
No one.
They were just like
mental health day.
Yeah.
This guy's like, a bitch.
You bartend?
Yeah.
Like no, just take a shot, get your ass back out.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I ended up like pretty like low point in my life. And there was this program, I think it's still around, but it's called like JFK University, and they have like this counseling center kind of nearby the lake. And so I got some resources from some friends, and ended up like finding a therapist and stuff, and was able to like kind of talk my way off the ledge, so to speak. And just like super thankful for that.
For sure. So, JFK, is that place still there?
I don't know. It's called like JFK University, and they had like a counseling program and stuff, and it was like all the people that are in school that like have to get their hours and stuff for their program. And it was like sliding scale, and at the time I wasn't working, and I think I had to pay like $5 a session or something. And just like super thankful that I was like able to find a therapist and stuff.
Good fucking friends you had, man, because like any other fucking, I gotta say though, being in Oakland probably is a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because if you were in Texas, they'd be like, what are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, they'd probably leave you in your house until you died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, like I didn't have a job, and my friend came and helped me move like out of my place. Like the day I had to move out, he came with a bunch of cleaning shit and a bunch of trash bags and just packed up, basically like told me what to do, and like packed up all my shit with me. And then we cleaned like the place together, because I had roommates also, and everybody was moving out. And then I moved all my shit into my friend's garage, and he like let me crash on his couch for free for like 5 or 6 months while I went to therapy, and like, try
fucking
to like
awesome friend, dude. Where is this guy?
He's still here. We're still friends to this day.
Oh, what does he do?
I think he's a machinist now.
Machinist?
Yeah, but I know him from riding bikes and stuff, and he's still one of my good friends to this day.
Yeah, you keep saying that riding bikes. Is there like a bike community out here I don't know about?
I used to like ride just bicycles and stuff around Oakland and stuff. I didn't have a car when I moved up here, and so
after a while you see the same motherfuckers at the stoplight and be like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, there was like, this shit called Bike Party, and there was just like
Bike Party.
Yeah, so like once a month they would go and like ride bikes around Oakland or like around the Bay. And then there's like this community bike shop that I used to help out at.
Road bikes?
Just like fixies and road bikes, and just like little.
What kind of bike do you have?
Right now I have, what do I have? I guess it's like a hybrid. It's kind of mountain bike frame. I have a mountain bike also, but it's for sale at my friend's bike shop.
Okay.
On consignment.
All right. What's the price?
It's $1,200.
Is it a mountain bike? Like,
yeah, it's
four mountains.
Yeah, 4 mountains.
Don't fucking ride on the road.
No. The last time
I need a road bike.
I mean, they got bikes. I can. Their shop is called Lucky Duck.
Right.
In downtown Oakland. But
Okay.
the last time I rode that mountain bike was last year. I fucking crashed. It was like 8 hours from here. I was out with some friends, like camping and shit. And I crashed on my bike, bruised a bunch of my ribs, dislocated my shoulder, and I was like, "Yo, we're done." Like,
You rode bikes 8 hours away to go camp?
I didn't ride. No, I put it on the back of my car.
Okay, I was
and we
about to say, yo,
drove.
this motherfucker.
Yeah.
God damn.
Oh, no. I think the longest I've ever rode a bike in my life was like an hour and a half. But yeah, I just met like a bunch of people like through that community around Oakland, and I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day. But
Oh, man.
I definitely I feel like I will never be able to repay my friend. So just hella thankful for him.
Free tacos for life, bro.
Yeah, right?
Free
Yeah,
tacos.
yeah.
You hear that?
Yo,
Free tacos for
anytime,
life.
Anytime, yeah.
Anytime. Cool, man.
Yeah.
So when you get over this thing, what's your next move? Do you even want to cook again? Do you what do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you tell yourself, you're like, man, I'm never going to do this thing again.
Yeah.
Right? And then I didn't know what else to do.
Pulls you back in.
Yeah, man, I don't even remember what the period was from that to going to go work for these other cats. But I got connected with this supper club in San Francisco. And I ended up working for them, I think, for like 2 years or 2.5 years.
Supper club.
Yeah, it was like a kind of like fine dining catering company and supper club.
Okay.
And stuff. And, they took me in and put up with me. And
how many people worked
taught
there?
me a bunch of shit. I mean, I guess at the time, 8.
Were they still around?
Yeah, they're called Stag Dining Group. And they opened up this spot called the Surf Club in San Francisco. But yeah, Jordan Grosser was an executive chef, and this co-chef and co-owner, this guy named Ted Fleury, and they used to both work at Olympic together in San Francisco, and they were just hella nice dudes, and they took me in, and I learned a lot from them, and got back into cooking with them, and just learned some cool stuff, and thought I wanted to do more meat and butchery stuff. So I ended up doing I know, actually worked at this other restaurant before that, but it was kind of I would say a Chez Panisse legacy restaurant, but it was kind of a shit show. And,
it's ex-Chez Panisse employees trying to recreate Chez Panisse.
No, it's just some wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I worked for Stag, and then I did a butcher apprenticeship at 4505, and learned how to break down pigs, and would help them for events and stuff. And then I thought I wanted to go make salami and prosciutto and stuff, and so I moved out of town.
Buy the Michael Ruhlman book.
Yeah, just all the books on
one-way bike trip out of town. Fuck this.
Where am I going?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I moved out of state to go work for this other company for a second. And then just really missed California, and just started getting depressed and stuff again. And I was just yo, I got to go back. So I came back to California, and then I worked for some people that I knew. I worked for a meat company, selling meat at the farmers markets. So I did that. And then I worked for a produce company as an account manager, because I had just known hella people around the Bay. And so
what produce company?
For VeggieWorks.
VeggieWorks.
Yeah, R.I.P. VeggieWorks.
Yeah, well, who took them over? Greenleaf?
I don't know. They just closed during the
Bastards.
pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Fucking Greenleaf.
Yeah.
Paula Linton.
Yeah.
I still need I still need confirmation.
Yeah.
Paula Linton's accent. Is it fake?
Yeah.
Is it fake? Because motherfuckers tell me it's fake. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know that woman.
But yeah, man. So I worked at VeggieWorks for a year, and then yeah, I was working there, and then I got this opportunity to go work for this other company. It was food related, and I was working at this warehouse for them. And then I ended up they were in Oakland or Emeryville. They moved to San Francisco.
Right.
And I was just I don't want to fucking be in San Francisco
anymore.
No. And then my job ended up going to an overnight job, and I got laid off. And they gave me a little severance check of $1,000 or whatever. And at the time I was hella overweight, and you know, I'd like go to the taco trucks and like get burritos and you know stuff. I mean, it'd be like 8, 9, 10, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd get like some fucking nachos or carne asada fries or like a burrito and stuff.
So your sort of like depression was making you act in ways that, I guess at that point you were like, whatever.
Well, I'd like go out drinking and stuff with friends, and then it's like for me, I'm very good at taking care of myself when I'm drunk. So I like drink water and take Advil, and because I'm like such a big baby when I'm hungover.
Really?
So I don't want to be hungover, right? And
what's the deal, Chef? How do you do it? Because I don't drink because of that.
I mean,
I drink, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, now I drink like very little, but like at the time, I would just take like 3 Advil, drink
before or after?
After. Slam some water, take some ibuprofen, and then I'd like go to a taco truck and like get a burrito and stuff. And so I was like hella overweight.
So the next morning you'd be like,
yeah, I mean, really, I'd be hella like refreshed, even though I just had like 1,500 calories or 2,000 calories the night before. But then I tried to like get healthier, and I started. When I'd go to the taco truck or the different taco trucks and little taco spots and stuff around town, I just started getting tacos, and I'd get like 2 tacos, 3 tacos, and that was it. So it's like way less calories, you know, than a big ass burrito.
Yeah.
Right. And so then I started hitting up like all these other taco spots around town, and then I started making tacos at the house, and I would like have friends come over and we would make tacos. And yeah, man, it was you know, I had a couple friends that were like, yo, this is hella good, like you should make this and stuff. And I had some friend at the time who was also making tacos, and him and the girl I was seeing and some other friends and my brother were like hella encouraging me to like, yo, you should do this. So I took that money and I went down to the Pulga, I bought a little taco cart and stuff, and yeah, just like would go, and I hit up some friends who had some bars, and I would like go post up outside of their bars.
Permits or anything like that?
Nah, just prep at the house.
Okay.
Yeah, prep at the house, you know.
Good on them, man.
As much as possible. And it's also after hours, right? So after 5 o'clock, no health inspectors around, just hella under the radar and stuff. And
you think that's changed in recent times?
What's that?
Like, because there's such a community of taco trucks and late night food, do you think there's health inspectors at night?
I mean, the way that they catch people now is on Instagram, because now all the health inspectors are on there. And so like when I got popped, like they had like a whole file on me, like on some Fed level shit. They're like, oh, you know, you're at this spot, you got all this other shit.
You know what's funny is there's a guy in San Diego actually fighting against that, because they're doing the dudes who do the sheep pan cooking on the side of the thing after the stadium shit.
Yeah, the hot dogs.
Those motherfuckers are getting like harassed by police, and like they're like taking all these little ladies all their food and shit.
Yeah.
And this dude basically stands up for them, so he'll go on camera and be like, "Yo, what are you doing to these little ladies?"
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like people are just trying to make a living, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I definitely understand like all the fucking privilege I have of like being born in this country and stuff, but like hella people like in other countries, they just like sell food on the street, you know, and
it's okay.
It's fine, you know. And
I think the health inspecting system is some of the biggest bullshit I've ever. Like, none of those fucking people, like most of them are not chefs, have never worked with food to a point where it like matters to them. Like, if I get somebody sick, no one will come to my restaurant ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they come into these fucking places, guns blazing, fucking trying to get people in trouble, closing down places. We're going to put a C on your door. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, Roy?
Yeah.
You know, you work on a desk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're cops, but for
food.
They're
cops for food. But and that's exactly the thing that I've realized. And whenever I consult for people who are having those types of issues, it's like, treat them like cops. Yes, sir. No, sir. Like,
don't give them any extra
as long as you're submissive, they're like, oh, okay, he respects me. He respects my license as a health inspector.
Yeah, or like,
no one respects
I'll give you a 30-day pass to like do this one thing or whatever.
Fucking bullshit, man.
And so, yeah, like I was just doing this shit out the house, and I would just go set up, and then like people wanted us to like go start doing catering for them, and you know, at this point, you know, fast forward, I was like able to stack some cash, and ended up getting like I was renting out a commercial kitchen and stuff, or time at a commercial kitchen, like one of the hourly ones. And so I did that, and people wanted us to then like cater a wedding for them, and I was like, I'm never gonna cater a wedding, you know. And then we did it, or no, some friends kept asking me like, yo, will you please come cater our wedding? I was like, yo, like
I'll never cater a wedding.
I'm
then
never
we
doing
did
that.
it.
And then we did it, and it was fine. And I was like, oh, I could make some like good money doing
Yeah,
this. And then some
dude.
people at that wedding
And you get hammered after.
wanted us to cater their wedding, and then some friends of friends, and it just kind of grew. Because at first it was just like
Who was helping you?
I mean, just like random friends. Like I'd hit up somebody or be like, hey, can you take orders or take money? And like I'd make the food and stuff. And you know, just kind of like one thing led to another. But like I had no expectations when I started this. Like the name of this is Tacos del Precioso. Like I wanted a name that was different. And even though at the time when I started, I was like, I mean, no joke, like probably 50 pounds lighter. I would joke with other Mexicans, I was like, well, Tacos El Gordo was already taken. So like, I needed something. The joke works better now.
Yeah.
But, you know, but then like white people couldn't say Precioso. And I mean, they fucked it up.
Tell
all
me
the
about it
time.
with the Sucio shit.
Yeah.
They're like, what's your podcast called?
Suslo?
I'm like, yeah, it means dirty. And
Dirty.
they're like,
Dirty Talk. They're like, wait, where are we going?
they're like, yeah, you're a chef? Dirty? Really?
Yeah.
They don't understand.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no expectations of like when I started this. And like, you know, we have like just grown, and like through the pandemic, we were able to do a bunch of community meals with World Central Kitchen and like Mandela Partners is like a local organization here in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Like big shout out to Mandela Partners. They do so much for the fucking community on the real.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So we were able to make it through the pandemic and stuff. And, you know, we just like grew our staff. You know, I have a business partner like helped me like over the last 3 years, like also grow the business and stuff. And, you know, so like people, I think a lot of people think that we're just doing pop-ups, but like most of our business was catering. We have a van, go set up the taco carts, like do birthdays, quinceañeras, weddings, you know, corporate catering, all kinds of shit and stuff.
What would you say separates your tacos from the rest?
Man, I mean, I think like it's two things. Like most of the ingredients that we use, like we source them from local farmers markets. So like when I used to work for this meat company, I met a bunch of farmers and purveyors, and so I still have relationships with them to this day. Now, I mean, fuck, like 8 years later. So you know, every Tuesday I go to the South Berkeley Farmers Market, and then Thursday mornings I go to the San Rafael Farmers Market, because like I used to work at that market, and so I still know hella farmers there. And I think like the produce is like top notch, and so I do that. And then more than half of what we do is also plant-based, and so we don't use like any soy or any fake meat, but like it's all, you know, we do like a cauliflower al pastor, we do like a charred camote taco, which is inspired from like Chef Gabriela from Cala in San Francisco. You know, we do like a salsa macha on there. You know, we do like mushroom mole, like just all kinds of stuff. And we do a lot of meat. We source like really great products and stuff. But I would say the things that separate us is like our sourcing, and then, you know, we do a lot of plant-based stuff as well. Because I want our food to be, I want everybody to be able to eat our food.
Right. Is it just tacos, or are you doing burritos?
I don't do burritos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to ask because you were eating them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, eating burritos like that was my job.
Yeah. Because like when I worked for Jake Rojas, he was like, at first he was like, we're not doing fucking burritos. And he was like, we got to do burritos. We were in fucking Rhode Island, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like the planchas that we have, you know, it would just be hella hard to do burritos. And like there's so many people that do burritos really well, you know, and then like if my food costs are hella high, like, you know, I don't think people are going to buy a fucking $20 or $25 burrito.
Right.
You know, and I'm not putting like filet mignon and like lobster in it or something, or, you know, just some uni or something crazy. So
when did you, from the inception to like doing all the catering and everything, when did you know that you were like, I got something? Like, this is something.
I mean, shit. I mean, probably like within the first, so we started in July, whatever 5 years ago was. We did a party at Eli's Mile High Club. And I knew them from when I used to sell produce and stuff. And, you know, it it was like the after party for this thing called Burger Boogaloo. It was like this music festival in Mosswood Park.
Yeah.
And so did that, and we're just like hella busy, and people like really love the food. And we did like rajas with cheese. We did al pastor, and I think I did like a chicken mole or something like that. But people were like, yo, like this is hella good. Like, you know, it was really good. And then fast forward, you know, we would do some other spots, and then fast forward to April of the next year, we started doing a pop-up there on Tuesday nights, and like a homie at the time would come and DJ, and then people would come and eat our food, and like that was the slowest night of the week at that bar. And then we like blew it up. It was like hella busy. We'd have a line of like 10, 12, 15, 20 people like the whole night, like every Tuesday night and stuff. And so really within the first year, I was like, yo, like
popping.
People are like into this.
Yeah.
And so just super thankful to everybody that came through. And
for sure.
You know, even now, like right now we're booking weddings and stuff out to next year. And
now how'd you get into Odin?
So I got into Odin because a few years ago, before the pandemic, there were some big earthquakes that hit in Mexico. So they hit in Mexico City and Oaxaca and stuff. And I hit up like literally everybody I had ever fucking met for a favor, you know, and we threw this big fundraiser actually at Eli's, and we, you know, I got gift certificates, cookbooks, haircuts, tattoo appointments, like a bunch of liquor and beer reps that I knew like gave us like big gift packages and shit like that. And so one of the people that I hit up was Sylvia and Corey from Nido at the time. And they were like, yeah, you know, absolutely. And they were like super nice and hella generous and stuff. And so that's how I first met them. And, you know, so we did this fundraiser and stuff, and it was cool. And like I, you know, would see them around town, and sometimes I would go to Nido for brunch and stuff. They had like really bomb cocktails. And then during the pandemic, I started another business. It was like a plant-based panaderia. So we're doing like conchas and, you know, like little puerquitos and all that stuff, but it was all vegan. Cause like we felt that there was a need for doing this. And so my friend's like sibling would bake goods, and we would sell them for our meal kits for the taco business, like during the pandemic. And it really took off, and week after week after week, like people were buying more stuff. And one of the employees that worked at Nido's backyard, I think, told them like, yo, you need to try this pan dulce and stuff. And we like we met them again and talked with them, and they had this other bar area. And so they let us go and sell pan dulce there for free on the weekends. We just like weren't making enough money, and we ended up shutting it down. But I saw that at Nido they were like cleaning it up and like giving it a facelift and stuff. And they, you know, we ended up talking about it, and they were like, yo, like, do you want to come do the food here and stuff? And they were like, we want to do the bar program, and we want you and your team to come do the food and stuff. And
who was your team at the time?
I had my business partner, and I had a couple cooks at the time. I think at the time there was, 5 or 6 of us.
Were you still renting space in the kitchen to cook?
Yeah, we were renting space at another. We were sharing a commercial kitchen with another catering company.
Okay.
So we were renting space from them.
Okay.
And you know, it just at the time it just like kind of didn't make sense, and some more time kind of dragged on, and then we like revisited that conversation and stuff. And originally we were gonna do like this bigger like dinner menu and have like big plates and all this stuff. And then they came back and they're like, hey, like we really just want some like really solid food here, and you know, some bar bites and some tacos and stuff that like really goes well with the mezcal program that we're trying to do.
Got you.
And so, you know, it just like made sense for us for the business. And yeah, we moved in there a few months ago, and then we just opened at the end of May and stuff. So we've been open about 2 months now. Yeah.
How's it feel, man?
Dude, it's been wild. It's been wild. I've been learning a lot, and you know, just thankful for everybody that's been like supportive, both on my staff and from their staff, and you know, just the community and our customers that have been coming through, like their old regulars, like a lot of our regulars. And And yeah, it's been pretty well received, and just super thankful for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where does it go from here? Will you open more spaces? Will you just keep doing the catering thing? Do you want to expand further than the Bay Area?
Yeah, I think for us, we actually just had a meeting today. Like, we want to open another day, because right now we're just open 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. We're open Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, because we have so much catering, and just wanted to like get a good like track record, not only in sales, but just like get comfortable with the space, and as we're getting to know it. So we're hoping to open a 4th day in the next couple weeks.
Got you.
And stuff, and like the catering for us has not stopped at all. So
dude, that slow growth is what you need, man.
Yeah.
I find that most of the time the restaurants that are open 7 days, where it makes sense from a business standpoint to be open 7 days, but it really doesn't make sense for staffing.
It's so hard. You have to have 2 sets of staff.
Yeah, you got to have 2 sets of staff. It doesn't make sense for a lot of things for small businesses trying to grow.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 day at a time is perfect.
Yeah.
And I always thought about this because I don't want to be fucking cooking 7 days a week, but I would love to do a dinner service 3 days a week. And I was talking to somebody recently where I was like, let's just have a space where you cook 3 days a week. 1 day is like whatever, not, closed, and then I'll cook the rest of the 3 days.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like there can be those joint hybrid restaurants.
Yeah.
And people will understand it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because if you're open 7 days, and this I thought about at Charter Oak, like there's only, there's people that come there fucking 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I'm at home and I'm like, oh man, like I really want a burger, I'll get one tomorrow. They're open tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like Slug Bar or somewhere like it's like, oh, I better fucking go get those tacos right now.
Yeah.
Because they'll be closed for fucking 2 days and I won't be able to get them.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're keeping things scarce, and that makes more value out of the thing. It probably helps you sell events too.
Yeah, I mean, for us on the event side, like we're booked out for like the next 2 months. We just started booking holiday parties and stuff, and like we already have several weddings on the books for next year. And so, what we try to do too is like, if we're booked out, like I try to pass that business along to my friends who have other taco businesses or other food businesses, because like, if people are already coming to us, like I'm hoping that they're going to trust our recommendation and be like, hey, go hit up these people, like, go see what's up with them. But yeah, I think like having the slow growth, I'm very thankful for that, because now I don't have the expectation like I have to be open, 5 days a week or 6 days a week.
Exactly.
And then also have a catering company and also be able to turn out all these events and then, lavar todas las vasijas and take everything back to storage and,
that's a telltale sign of a true worker that opened a business, because you know what it's like to be the worker.
Yeah.
When it's these fucking investors out here just fucking being like, oh, open 7 days a week because it makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
And then all your fucking people are suffering and like.
Or you don't even have people.
Or you don't have people, yeah. And then it's like when you're the CDC or chef of those kinds of places, when you don't have nobody, who is it? You.
It's you.
And they don't pay you anymore for that because they paid you your salary.
Yeah.
And in California, there's this like enticing thing that happens sometimes where like, oh, we're going to pay you $120. In California, that means $60.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so expensive to live here, man.
It's expensive to live here. So take your salary, cut it in half. That's what you actually make.
Yeah.
And that for the longest time, like, I don't know what mentality I was in, but I didn't realize it, And when you get offered the shiny 6-figure salary, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take it. But at the end of the day, it's like more taxes. Like, exactly. You're still like making the same shit you made before, It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, you're in a higher tax bracket. I mean, I've never to this day cooking have made 6 figures, but like, yeah, man, it's wild. And
it's not worth it, dog.
And everything just costs so much money.
Yeah, honestly, it's worth it to do it the way you're doing it. To like if I compare it to music, you own your masters. Yeah, you own your recipes. You have your cooks. You have your business model. You know what you're doing, and when you have that, like, and that's why you have forward mobility. Yeah, because you know what the fuck you're doing, and you took your time to like learn it. Yeah, versus. This is the goal. Let's start there. Let's achieve it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm sure after this long of cooking those same dishes, like they're probably fucking fire. You know what I mean? To this day, where you're like, I don't even think we can make this any better than we make it. You know? And man, I'm proud of you, bro. Like
Thanks,
it
man.
takes a long time to get here, and people don't know the hard work that goes into fucking running a restaurant.
Dude, it's been crazy. Like the things that, you know, I thought that like the challenges I was gonna have in us opening, you know, let's say that they were over here or like 1 through 5. Like these are some areas that are gonna be hard. Man, none of those things that I thought were gonna be hard have been hard. All the shit that's been hella hard are all these other things that I never saw coming at all, and it was fucking a grind.
What are some of those things?
Just like staffing emergencies and different shit. I mean, I think that I was naive to think that I was immune to staffing challenges, because like one of the things that we do is like we make sure that we pay our people really well.
Right.
Like from dishwashers, cooks, prep cooks, everybody, because like I mean, I've been there, like people aren't trying to pay people and stuff, and if I can pay people more or like make my life a little fucking easier and I pull in a little less money, like fine, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I sleep better at night.
That's way better.
Yeah. You know, and even if I'm making less money, or even if I need to like struggle a little bit for a minute or whatever, like, yo, money's coming. We have events down the road.
That's what a business owner does.
Yeah.
He sacrifices so his fucking workers can have what they need.
Yeah, man.
You
and
know?
it's just been wild. And so it was definitely been a learning curve, and you know, thankful for my team and thankful for the team at the restaurant that have like been there and been flexible, and like we're trying to, you know, figure all this stuff out, and you know, ultimately like we want to have a good service experience and have a good food experience and stuff, and we're like, I think everybody that works for us like wants that too, and they like care and they try, and I'm just, you know, there's definitely like those people that are like, oh, I did this all by myself, or like I'm self-made. I'm like, well, I don't think that is actually true. But like so many people,
you just
have,
fucked over all the people that helped you make it.
Exactly.
Now you can't turn around and be like, oh, that guy helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm hella thankful.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. That's the issue that we're in now.
Yeah.
No one gave anyone credit for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then all the fucking people that didn't get credit are pissed off.
Yeah.
And they're fucking personal chefs now.
Yeah.
So it's
making
like
hella money.
Yeah. You make hella money, but
Yeah.
let me tell you, man, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, because
Like,
I mean, all the dietary restrictions, or you know, whatever the things are, or the type of clients that can afford to pay you that salary, you're also like, they own you.
Yeah, you're a servant.
Yeah,
for sure.
You're a servant.
Yeah, yeah. And
you're paid well.
Yeah.
But they own your ass.
And that type of mentality too, it's like I'm trying to, because that's the job I need. Why? Because this is the goal. You know what I'm saying? It's like the goal isn't to be fucking in the kitchen, being on a station. The goal is to be chef of the world. How are you chef of the world? You have this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to do this, I need a job that pays that much, right? So you look for personal jobs in the space. And from what I found, if you are like direct and tell them what you want and they really want you, they will give you those things.
Yeah.
But if you are meek and treat them like your chef, they will take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Just like any chef does.
Yeah.
I just recently spoke with somebody who's good friends with Skeens. And from my understanding, no one is good friends with Skeens. Right? But I think that there's two sides to every coin, right?
Yeah.
There's people that love you and there's people that hate you.
Yeah.
And will always be, no matter what.
I feel
right?
like that's true of me, of everyone.
Of everyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we need to fucking cancel them.
Yeah,
like,
no.
come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when he was like, oh, he's my good friend, like that opened my perspective to being like, we can't cancel fine dining necessarily. We don't need to. We shouldn't.
No.
Because it's like a goal. It's like the people that come to work for you, like some of them have an aspiration to be like a fine dining chef.
Yeah.
And I think that we would make mistakes if we're like, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, you know what I mean? Let's just find good bosses in that, you know, good leaders in that section.
Yeah.
And then I think we can make fine dining what it used to be, what it meant without the fucking like mental torture that you go through.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, it's like we make tacos, like I make tacos for a living.
Yeah.
Like that is my job.
Yeah.
And also I think we make really good food. I try to
Fuck yeah.
go out of my way to like be, you know, the best version of myself, and not on some like high horse, I'm better than everyone's shit, but just like I've had so many fucking bad bosses, and I don't know everything, but like I try my best. I try to be really good people like to my team and shit, and like, you know, it's so wild too, because like even at the farmers market, it's like I see some of these chefs, and like I don't necessarily know who they are, or maybe I've heard of their restaurants, and you know, I see them every fucking week at the Thursday, especially at the Thursday San Rafael market.
Marin?
Yeah, in Marin and stuff. And like,
You going tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll see you.
All right. I'm going at 9, so I'll be up there at 9:30.
All right.
Yeah.
I try to get there at 7.
Oh yeah, I used to do that.
Well, I
to beat traffic.
harass the fucking the farmers there.
Yeah.
Like start talking to them about shit, and I'm like,
While they're trying to set up.
Yeah, and they're like, please leave us alone. And I'm like, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I used to get up at 6 to go there early, but now I wait till traffic dies down.
The better idea, chef.
Because
You
I
don't
gotta
need to- you don't need
I
to
gotta
prove
work
nothing.
service now.
I wanted to have a fucking Sucio Talk table there
That'd be
and
hilarious.
do Sucio Talks like in the morning, even if it's just me.
Yeah.
But like honestly, any chef that comes by, yo, come in the booth.
Yeah,
And we'll
go grab a
talk.
coffee and
Yeah,
chop
go
it
grab
up
a
for
coffee.
me.
Let's talk some shit.
Dude, hella people go up there. But
Right?
it's like lately I've been having some of these chefs ask me like, hey, like, where are you from? Like, or whatever. And I was like, oh, I got a catering business in Oakland, or, you know, we do food at this
They
mezcal
start
bar.
noticing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like tattoos.
Well, or like I just have the fucking chef cart, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
loaded. I got like mushrooms and chiles and cabbage and corn and all this shit.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes like I'll rock my taco gear and sometimes I don't. And they'll just ask me, right? Like, hey, like, where are you from? And I was like, oh, we got this business in Oakland. Or they're like, oh man, you come all the way from Oakland. I'm like, yeah, you know, and they're like, why? I'm like, oh, you know, I used to work at this market and I know these farmers and stuff. And they're like, all right, tight, you know, and they're like, oh, well, like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, like, you know, we make tacos. And like, oh, okay. You know, and you can see the look on their face. Like, they're like, oh, you come up here to buy stuff to make tacos. Okay. All right. And you can see the wheels turning and they're like, oh, well, what's the business? I'm like, oh, it's called Tacos de Precioso or Tacos del Precioso. And they're like, you can just see them like try to mouth the name, you know, like tacos. They're like, what? They're like, oh, okay. And then they're just, at that point, they just like lose interest. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, good to see you around. And then that's it. You know, and it's just like this racist ass shit where like, yo, like, why can't this food be good? You know, like.
It's the food that they fucking eat.
Yeah. You know? Or even probably worse, you know?
I think when you come from a Michelin background, I think when you're in Michelin, just like I was telling you before, you have to have opinions.
Yeah.
If you do not have opinions, then you are looked at as like an indecisive kind of whatever. He likes everything. Who's gonna trust his word? They like opinions. They like people who are like, this is like this, you know?
Yeah.
Because people respond well to authority, and I get that.
Yeah.
You know, but to
I mean, but
alienate other chefs, alienate other business owners that have cooks, that people rely on them, that make food, that's fucking horseshit.
Well, I mean, they're probably not used to a brown dude at the farmer's market as a shopper buying stuff to then make tacos, you know?
Because they're like, oh, I use the same ingredient, but I charge 8 times more what you charge for the dish or the menu or the fucking tasting.
I've had people that are my friends tell me, yo, this is too nice to be a taco. And you like take the tortilla away and now it's this nice composed dish. When we were doing this pop-up a couple years ago, in the fall, we would take delicata squash, we would cut it hella thin and char it. I would take a bunch of fennel, caramelize the fennel, and then I would make a habanero persimmon hot sauce and put that on top of the squash with like some candied pumpkin seeds or like candied pepitas. And my friend was like, yo, this is way too nice for this. And I was like, why? Like, why? Just because we put a tortilla on this, now all of a sudden it loses the value.
Yeah,
and you call it a taco, now it's lost its value. It's like, yo, man, we're buying from the same fucking vendors. Hell, I mean, fuck, like some of the best chefs in San Francisco and in Marin, the North Bay, Napa, whatever, shop at that fucking market. And I see them every fucking week.
3 Michelin star market right there.
Yeah, I see them. I fucking see them. But it's like, yo, I'm buying the same thing. You know, but like people are not going to give, you know, traditionally tacos at Precioso, they're not going to give us, you know, $100, $150, $200, you know, for a dinner per person anyway. And it's like, we're also not doing, you know, a 10-course tasting menu. Like, we're making tacos. Like, at our spot, we have some salads, we have some ceviches, we have tacos, we have like, you know, my homie's been helping us out from Fish and Bones named Bully. Like, we have like a cheese plate and like a Mexican like charcuterie board and stuff that they put together for us. And it's just like this idea, you know, if it's Mexican food or a taco or fucking, you know, like Korean food or Chinese food, it's supposed to be cheap. But all of a sudden it's like Japanese food or Italian food. It's just like, watch out. It's got to be so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I see it in these fucking chefs' faces. Like, when they ask me, like, I don't even really engage with them. I say what's up to my friends that I see up there, and we chop it up or we get a coffee or whatever. But like, for the most of these people that I don't know, or when they approach me and I'm buying from Toscano Farms, or I'm buying from Full Belly, or I'm buying, you know, from River Dog or Tomatero or Ortiz or Rojas or all these other fucking farms that I buy from every week, they start to ask me. And as soon as I tell them that I fucking make tacos, you can see like their facial expression drop. And then I tell them that, oh yeah, it's, you know, tacos at Precioso. And they're like, oh, all right, well, cool, man. Well, good to see you around. They never fucking say hi to me after that again. It happens all the time. It's been happening more and more lately and stuff, because like, there's a first wave of chefs that get there at 7:30 because the market opens at 8 o'clock. And so you gotta, you know, try to battle and jockey for a fucking chef cart. And then there's the second wave that I go to now that, like, you know, we show up at like 9:30, 9:45 and try to jockey for carts to get all of our shit. And it's like, yo, all of a sudden you put this fucking flour tortilla or the corn tortilla like around some food, and it's like now lost its value. And it's just like, it's so like rooted in just fucking racism and oppression. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, now I'm not worth it. Or now my employees are not worth it. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, this food is not worth it. Like, I could take the same fucking food, put it on a fucking plate and put some microgreens or some little edible flowers. Like, now all of a sudden, like, I could fucking charge like $40 for this fucking plate.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's wild.
Yeah, man. And like, I'm not trying to fucking change the world and like redefine what Mexican food is or whatever, but like, you know, people ask me like what my food is, and I tell them we're, you know, California seasonal Mexican food. You know, like, we don't use tomates like in the winter. We don't use chiles we use dry chiles in the winter. We make everything from scratch, you know, with the exception of like the tortillas and stuff.
Right.
But
are you going to get into that game?
I mean, I've thought about it. I got like my homie, his name is Michael De La Torre. He owns Okay Chulo.
Right.
And so one of the dishes on the menu are some beef tacos. And so we confit this, it's lengua and brisket in tallow. And then I take all that, the leftover tallow, and I give it to him, and he makes me flour tortillas specifically for those tacos.
Really?
Yeah. So his tortillas are like banging, but you know, one day maybe we'll make our own, but you know, it's
slow growth, baby.
Yeah, slow growth.
Get there.
Yeah. I got to learn how to walk before I can run.
Exactly.
And you know, we're still crawling.
You know, maybe next time I'll talk to you, be selling those tortillas in the fucking farmers market.
Something, man.
And
but
those,
yeah, it's been wild, man. But I love what I do. Like, I love my food. I'm like, I love to go and engage with people. And I think like that's why I've been successful, even from like learning how to make friends when I was in school, you know, like, or having to make new friends every fucking time, of like, I can go and interact and like go talk to restaurants and go like try to get those accounts to sell produce. Or like, I could be set up in front of your bar, just like, you know, slanging tacos and stuff, because I just engage with people, you know. And like, if we would be set up and people don't have money, or you know, definitely look like they're down on their luck, just ask them like, hey, do you need some food? You know, like when I first got started, I would sell breakfast tacos because, again, Texas, you know, I would sell breakfast tacos.
What's that fucking plate? Taco Cabana.
Yeah, dude, Taco Cabana.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
God damn.
At 2 a.m?
Yeah, bro.
Take my money. You know, but yeah, like, I used to sell breakfast tacos in front of Bicycle Coffee down in Jack London. And, you know, there's like a center, like a home, a couple blocks away. And there was one time where this dude like came through and it was just like hella aggro and like started yelling at one of the owner's mom who was there and stuff. And I just went up to him and I was like, hey man, like, have you had anything to eat today? He's like, what? I was like, yeah, man, do you need some food? He's like, what? Wait, do I need some food? He's like, well, I mean, I don't have any money. I was like, all right. I didn't ask you if you had money, man. I was like, I'm selling some tacos here. Like, can I get you some tacos, or like, can I buy you a coffee? Like, you need something? He was like, yeah, man. Like, I could use something to eat. I was like, all right, cool. And so like, I gave him some tacos and I like chilled the fuck out.
Yeah.
And maybe he was just fucking hungry. And I just told him, I was like, yo, if you ever see me here, because they used to, I would be there on Friday mornings.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you ever need food and you see me here, I got you. And it's just like, we have, just like, this shit is just so hard, man. And like, so many people are down on their luck. And even after the pandemic, like, I also thought that I was fucking naive, that I thought that this industry would just be better. And I just feel like it's worse. Mm-hmm. You know, it's gotten worse. We've like, as an industry, like learned how to fucking exploit people. And it's like, sometimes people just like need a fucking meal and to not fucking be judged, man.
Yeah.
And like,
that's the best part about being Latino.
Yeah.
Or brown, black, for that nature. It's like,
we're just always trying to feed people.
Yeah. But you can, you can survive, you know, you can survive in a crack house and you can survive in the White House.
Yeah.
No fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, give me whoever, we'll have a party. Don't worry, we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to feel good.
Yeah.
No matter of state, where you're at, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I think is important, because no matter what, whenever you're around some white people, because that's another thing. Like, we can't go all the way like they did and say all white people are like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's fucking racist, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if we overcorrect to that much, I actually had this thought the other day. I was like, what does this world look like 500 years from now? Because the way it's going, it seems like white people are going to be fucking slaves in 500 years. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
that's even if we still have like air to breathe.
Damn
and,
right.
like,
Yeah.
water.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
When we get to 50
I'm saying,
years,
if everything was perfect,
yeah.
and the way that the narrative is going, like, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna like become them after a while. So it's like, let's slow it down. Let's understand that no one knows any better, even though it seems very obvious that people should know better.
Yeah.
They don't know any better.
Man, people have lost their goddamn minds.
Yeah,
Man. Just
for
the way
sure.
people like drive over the past couple years.
Dude.
And like, I feel like hella old person like saying this shit, but it's just like damn near every day I almost get in a car accident.
Yeah.
Like the other day by the lake, I was in the far right-hand lane to get on the freeway. The light was green. I was going, and this car one lane over from me starts coming over into my lane. I had to slam on the fucking brakes.
Yeah.
From the far right lane, they're making a left-hand turn. They're going over 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes of traffic to fucking make a left to go by, you know, Trader Joe's and T-Mobile and shit. I'm just like, dog, just go up and turn around.
Yeah. It's just become that phone.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I can't press a button and do it?
I got to go right now.
Meltdown.
Dude,
You know?
it's wild.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I call it slave mentality. Like, it's not necessarily like slavery as we knew it, but it's a different type. It's like a controlling thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go on your phone. Look at fucking TikTok for 3 hours. And then when you fucking look up, you're like, what happened?
It's nighttime.
Exactly.
I didn't have dinner.
Exactly.
Like, what happened?
Or for my generation, it was video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, play the fucking video games. Stay there.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
never played video. I mean, we had them, but my brother was always better.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
would
yeah.
always beat me.
He just
And
watched. Yeah.
And so I never wanted to play. I
Yeah,
would go
yeah, yeah.
outside. But even now, like, you know, I'm thankful that, like, I have someone who's coming on board on my team. Like, starting next month, they're going to take over our social media so that I'm just going to delete Instagram off my phone because I'm guilty of it.
Do it, bro.
I'm always on that shit. And that's not how I want
And
to
it's
spend
like
my time.
mindless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
think
gain anything from it.
I've switched my habits to being like, if you're not creating something, then get off.
Yeah.
And that's honestly what's helped me with TikTok, because I don't like looking at TikTok. It's too much stuff for me at once.
I don't have it because I
Yeah.
don't trust myself.
Exactly.
Like, I have to work,
Yeah.
and the relationships in my life are important.
Exactly.
And it's like I spend too much time on Instagram as it is, if I had TikTok, dog, I probably wouldn't even be able to pay my bills, or my girl would kick me out of the house.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, when you're trying to build something like this, it's like you need to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and like the narrative is 3 TikToks a day, 3 this a day. It's like, bro, that takes time.
So
and it's
much
like
time. And I have ADHD. It's like
exactly.
the focus and attention. I'm just like, yo, man, I got to put out 17 fires every day. Like,
and that's right there, like the 17 fires and the cooking and the like, that's what keeps you focused as an ADHD person.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same. And trying to do this digital shit where you're like, there's no deadlines, there's no service. Like if I don't get these reels done by a certain time, there's no like repercussions.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, you asked me, you know, you gave me like 3 or 4 times to be on here. You're like, yo, I'm free this day here, or I could have come earlier at 6, or right now. I'm like, well, this works for me. You're like, tight, this works for me. And then I came, you know, I came through.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you know, Sucio Talk's got to open every day at 4 o'clock. You better fucking pick those herbs right now.
Exactly.
You got 5 minutes.
That's what I'm grateful for.
5 minutes to set up these lights.
You know, and honestly, the vision that I had a couple days ago was, I think, you know, I need a food hall. Yeah. I want a food hall. I want to open one in Oakland. I want, you know, to give opportunities to young cooks, young people who maybe don't know how to open a business. Let's be sure, when you're learning how to cook, nobody teaches you how to run a business.
No,
they're just like, cook the fucking food, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that point where you're like, all right, I'm ready to open a business, you're like, I don't know anything about fucking opening a business.
Dude, it's wild.
Yeah.
And it's like there are some days, honestly, that are so fucking frustrating where I'm just like, man, all I want to do is be in the fucking kitchen with my team and cooking. But I can't, because I got to be on meetings and be on calls and whatever. And the mornings where I can take 2 or 3 hours and just put my phone away and just like cook and prep and like cook some chicken or whatever the fuck we're doing for a catering thing or to get ready for dinner service, I'm like, this is fucking tight. And I'm just like thankful for those little moments. But yeah, man, no one like taught me how to do this shit. Like thankful, like I just got a business like mentor coach person like over the last month, and she's been teaching me like so much shit. And you know, I'm hella thankful for that. But like, yeah, like you can be the best cook in the world, but like if you don't, or you could have your grandma's like cookie recipe, or you can make the best lobster in the world or the best fucking tacos in the world. But like, if you don't know that you need to like pay your taxes and like do your payroll taxes and have workers comp and liability insurance and all this other shit, like they'll come for you and they'll take your money or they'll take your business and you're fucked. Mm-hmm. You can't just be like, oh, hey, like I need an extra 2 weeks to pay you this like $6,000 in fucking quarterly taxes. They're like, that fucking interest is going to cut you off at the legs, you know? And so, yeah, man, I mean, I think having a food hall or like some way, you know, a lot of these like business mentorship or like, you know, I'm thankful for La Cuisine in San Francisco and like these different groups, but like, oh, I mean, Oakland needs more of this stuff too.
Oakland needs more. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I think the focus was San Francisco for so long. That like, thank God for James Scheibout. Thank God for him seeing what could happen here. And thank God for all the small business owner hole in the wall places that like survived for fucking years here. Yeah. And also to survive through pandemic. Like I think Oakland is a beautiful place. I think the people here are beautiful. I think it's got this like calm, serene, soulful feel to it that like I haven't felt in a long time. Like I've lived in a lot of places, man. This is the first apartment that I've ever gotten where I'm like, I'm home.
Yeah.
Like,
welcome.
I'm home. You know what I'm saying? And like for the longest time, even in Napa, when I would come down to visit, and honestly, pandemic was what happened for me because Truffle Shuffle was in Oakland, and I would fucking drive down here in 25 minutes because there was no fucking traffic.
No.
I was just,
any time of day.
Yeah.
Day, night, Monday, Saturday.
Yeah.
No
and
traffic.
just come down here and just feel good. And I was like, you know, Napa doesn't do that for me. It's beautiful. It's great. And I love to live there. But when I go there, I'm not like, thank God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm here.
And
Man, I'm home with these grapes.
And that doesn't happen anywhere else other than Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And to have that here, I'm like, man, because, you know, again, you're Puerto Rican growing up in the United States, so you're not Puerto Rican enough for your fucking siblings down in Puerto Rico, but you're not fucking, you know, black enough for the black community in Connecticut where I grew up, you know? So it's like you got to fucking find your place.
Yeah.
And when you find it, it's like, I'm here. That's it. So, and I can't wait, man. I'm telling you, you're part of it. Jeff Davis is part of it. And all the people, Slug Bar, fucking Snail Bar, like the food scene in San Francisco is going to be a fucking destination in about 5 to 10 years. And I think that the people that are doing it can see it, but there's a lot of people right now that have a lot of doubt. They look at Oakland and they're like, what are you going to do? It's like, don't worry, bitch. Yeah. We'll be fine.
I mean, really talented chefs from all over the Bay have been like, you know, opening businesses here in Oakland. And I mean, I think even over the past several years before the pandemic, I think there was an exodus of chefs like coming over to Oakland. But like, I mean, I've been in Oakland now for, I mean, like, I think I've been in Oakland for like 11 or 12 years now. And just like hella thankful for it, man. Like, and yeah, like I heard about your show from Jeff, and Jeff, I think, is like, I mean, for those of you that don't know Jeff Davis, just check him out. But he's been the homie for a long time, and like time and time again, that guy continues to make me some of the best meals I've ever had. Mm-hmm. You know, some of them has been at his restaurant, some of them have been at his house, like at his dining room table. But like, I mean, I think like the food scene in Oakland is just going to keep getting better and better and better.
Because the people here can detect bullshit. When you're in places in San Francisco that are sort of like, you know, there's tech money down there. Yeah. It's all like
they don't care.
They're hidden with the money. Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, take my money.
Take my money, yeah. And when you come here where it's like money means something, people go out to eat, this shit better be fucking good. Yeah. Because if it's not, people can be upset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's a difference. And I feel it. You feel it. I think I can't wait to see what the fuck this becomes. Yeah. I think we fucking end this podcast on that note.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
The man over here. Yeah. Yeah. Where can we find Tacos at Precioso? Let them know.
Yeah. So Tacos at Precioso, we're doing a food program at Odin Mezcaleria. I'm going to start that over. Tacos at Precioso, you can find us at Odin on 4th and Oak in downtown Oakland. We're doing dinner service there Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. We're going to be expanding very soon to another night. But come see us. Thank you very much for all your time. Oakland, I love you.
Sucio Talk, bitch.
We out here.
Let's go.
Hey, also, cheers, man. Salud.